Hey, I'm Michał, a senior engineering manager, and today I will be talking about a challenge every dev team faces: tech debt. Whether it's slowing down your team or making every task feel harder, I will show you how to get rid of it and keep your team growing at the same time. I will start by explaining what tech debt actually is, and then talk about how you can eliminate it for good. All of these tactics are grounded in years of experience in the industry. Okay, so let's answer the question: what is tech debt? Think of it as a collection of issues that build up over time, dragging down your team's productivity. It's like taking out a loan. You get short-term gain, but long-term, it can drag you under. Tech debt comes in different flavors like design, code, documentation, deployment, infrastructure, and many others. No matter the type, the outcome is the same. Your team slows down, and everything gets harder to maintain. Just like interest on a loan, tech debt accumulates and compounds over time, and before you know it, you're struggling to keep up with it. If you ever wondered why your team's slowing down despite everyone putting in their best effort, yeah, that's tech debt in action. So now that we understand what tech debt is, let's dive into where it comes from. There is intentional tech debt and unintentional tech debt. Intentional tech debt is actually the better kind. It's when you knowingly take shortcuts, for example, to hit a deadline. You document it, you know how to fix it, and you move on. The real trouble starts with the unintentional tech debt. This usually happens because of lack of thoroughness, knowledge, poor planning, or an unexpected need to cut corners. So you end up taking shortcuts in areas you shouldn't, and this tech debt snowballs over time. So the key to combating unintentional tech debt is thoroughness, being dedicated to challenging requirements. I've made a whole video on challenging requirements, which I will link in the description. So check that out if you want to dive deeper into that topic. Once you've been thorough and understand the requirements, you can take intentional compromises to deliver something meaningful on time. Okay, as we discussed what tech debt is and where it comes from, let's shift our focus to understand how to deal with tech debt that has already piled up. The most common method I've seen across different companies is addressing tech debt through tech days, or tackling it at the end of each sprint once the sprint goal is delivered. Honestly, I find this approach lazy and inefficient, but at the same time, this is how I did it for years, and for some reason, I couldn't figure out why it's not working. So the funny part is, it felt so good because I felt like I'm being proactive, but I was still inefficient. It's an easier approach for engineers because it doesn't require them to plan or prioritize the debt they want to handle ahead of time. They often end up picking small, easy fixes that don't make a real impact. The bigger, more critical issues, like design flaws, major code quality problems, or deployment inefficiencies, get ignored because there is just not enough time to tackle them properly. And before I will move to the approach I'm doing now, please share your experiences with tech debt in the comments and what strategies you incorporated to tackle it. So what's the alternative, you may ask? Treat your engineering team and yourself as key stakeholders, just like any other in the company. It's tough for engineers to think about return on investment, building a business cases, or understanding the value of what they're proposing, but I think it's absolutely necessary. This mindset shift helps engineers grow, make them more senior in their thinking, and forces them to ask, does this make sense for the company? The engineers default to point at the most obvious case for them, so try to challenge them and give them the wider context for what different struggles the company is facing on this wider level. When engineers can articulate the business value of fixing tech debt, it allows the product manager to prioritize it more effectively. And that's the next step: planning and prioritizing tech debt in a way that aligns with the company's goals. So, now, how do you prepare such tech debt initiative or epic for the product manager, right? Start by categorizing it into the types I mentioned earlier: design, code, documentation, deployment, infrastructure, etc. After categorizing, create a business case. What value will fixing this tech debt bring to the company? What's the expected return on this investment? If possible, identify key results you can measure over time. Some examples are deployment frequency, time to detect an outage, or time to resolve it. The approach I personally found useful is linking it to company-wide objectives. It's hard to say no to these. So, these metrics will help you demonstrate that you're addressing tech debt in a professional, structured manner, and they will also show how you have succeeded. If you just give people free time to do some refactoring, it often is inefficient and ends up with all people being disappointed, including engineers. Now, when you have a backlog of tech debt that's prioritized, understood, trackable, and your engineers understand the business context and value, you can present it to the product manager. So do it ahead of time, before the quarterly or yearly roadmap planning, whatever is the case in your company, and ask to have it included in the roadmap as the product manager sees fit. And here is the most important thing: everything is built on trust. You need to trust that the product managers know what they're doing when they prioritize your tech debt against other stakeholders' concerns. If you think they've missed the mark, be ready to redo a business case, maybe a better one this time or more aligned with company's objectives. Influence their decision by being more constructive and professional than before. It's usually all about communication and trust. I'm confident that with this approach you will see much better results for your team, you'll be perceived as a more professional engineering manager, and it will be easier for you to track and measure the success of the tech debt you've tackled. I hope this video was helpful, and if you're serious about leveling up your leadership game, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss on the next video, and I will see you there. Thanks!